Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Executive Espresso, Caffeinated Conversation with Dr. Heath. And we've got a great guest for you guys today. And she got out of bed early because she's way over on the West Coast. And I'm in Central Time. She's way over there, two time zones away. So we're really glad that she's here. Rebecca Whitman is here to help you overhaul your mind. And this is Executive Espresso. We talk about life changing strategies, tips, techniques to embiggen your life. And Rebecca is a successful mentor graduate with honors from Princeton University. She's an international best-selling author of Phenomenal Feminine Entrepreneurs, Business Life, Universe, and How to Make a Six-Figure Income Working Part-Time. She's been selected as Coach of the Year by International Association of Top Professionals. She hosts a top 5% podcast called Balanced, Beautiful, Abundant, and we hope to talk to you guys about some of those today. And she's a veteran guest on ABC CBS at Columbia University, and she shared the stage with such thought leaders as Grant Cardone, Jack Canfield, and Les Brown. So you guys know who that is. And we'll get Rebecca up here. And Rebecca, thank you for joining us today. We had some kerfuffles about technology, and I hit the cancel button on the show, and then I re-upped it and everything. So thank you guys for joining us. And I thank you guys that are going to be watching the replay. This is going to live at the YouTube channel at Therapy Bites, and you guys can go on there and find that anytime. We're also live streaming through Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and of course YouTube. But Rebecca, fill us in. What's something that I missed out? Tell us about yourself.
Wow, yeah, I would love to. It's so funny because I never thought I'd be voted Life Coach of the Year. I moved to LA 22 years ago to pursue my childhood dream of being an actress. And I had small parts on big shows like Friends, CSI, and 24, but I never got that big break. So I was lucky enough to find the children's acting school business, which I totally love because I love kids and I don't have any kids of my own. And in that business, I had a flexible schedule and I used my free time to study great spiritual teachers like Michael Beckwith, Wayne Dyer, Abraham Hicks. And I really did a deep dive into the law of attraction, which I applied successfully to my financial life, but not to my love life. So I married someone that was not a good fit for me. And 3 years later, our marriage was unraveling as my dad was dying in a nursing home. And in our last conversation, he asked me to write something and I didn't know what I was going to write. A few months later, I was sitting in my financial planner's office. He said, "You've become a self-made millionaire the same year you lost your dad in your marriage, and I think you should write about it." So I wrote a book called How to Make a Six-Figure Income Working Part-Time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and in the book, I divide life into seven key areas, which I call my seven pillars of abundance. And now I coach women on how to go from burned out and overwhelmed to balanced, beautiful, and abundant.
I love that. Balanced, beautiful, and abundant. How would you define balanced?
Balance means that there's seven key areas of life: spirituality, fitness, emotions, romance, mental, social, and financial. That would mean that you have all seven areas of life in harmony. You're not overly focused on making money. You're not overly focused on the gym. You're not obsessed with your relationship. So when you're balanced, you have a harmonious life. Beautiful, that's obvious. When you're
Right.
happy and spiritually centered and have great friends, you're beautiful. And abundant, it doesn't just mean financial abundance, Dr. Heath. It means having abundance in all these areas of life.
Wow, that's amazing. Where do you find that people sabotage themselves the most? Because I have a belief that, well, I'm going to get a T-shirt. Everything is figure outable. But so I think that we get in our own way. In your work, where do you find that people mostly get in their own way?
People get in their own way, I think, in turn. It could be in any of the top three in health, romance, or finance. I think people have limiting beliefs in all three. For health, it's like, well, I'm always going to be overweight, so why try? With romances, all the good ones are already taken. I miss my chance. on finance is just, I'm not meant to be wealthy. I'm just meant to get along, to get by, and the wealthy life is not for me.
You know, as you say that, I'm kind of clicking through my head the terminology that we use for those. And let's just take the overweight one. If you'll think about that, I'm always going to be overweight assumes, I mean, always would be in the future. And it assumes that I know what's going to happen in the future or what's not going to happen in the future. But we don't. I mean, do you think that we kind of create our future?
Yeah, I agree. The word always and never are generalizations about your past and your future. I never make the right choices when it comes to weight loss, is just saying you're bringing your past into your future, and saying I'm always going to be overweight is just, again, just putting a bad result on your future behavior. So people can change it by changing the words that they use. And one of the big things that I teach is people are very precise with what they put into their body and what kind of car they drive and what kind of clothes they wear, but they'll just say anything. And your words are actually creating your future. So instead of
Ah.
always be overweight, you can say, I'm excited to go on this weight loss journey.
What are some other things that people can say when it comes to health that can properly program their brains for success?
I have more than enough energy to exercise every day. I love moving my body. It's easy for me to make healthy choices. Those are just a few.
I just love how you put that, the comparison between what we put in our bodies and what we put in our brains, because I don't, our brains will never believe that we're lying to it. Our brain just really absorbs anything we say, and that's right up my alley. That's exactly what we teach people. And what are some other great things that you teach people to do to overcome some of these self-limiting beliefs that I don't know, that really makes sense to people?
Well, what really makes sense is first to become aware that I have a self limiting belief, because most people are operating out of their self limiting beliefs, and they don't understand why they're not getting the results they want without actually realizing that they have a self limiting belief. So that's the first thing.
You know,
Uh,
on that point, it really, really is. I kind of compare it to, can you smell your own breath? And most people can't even smell their own body odor because we just kind of live in ourself, and it's a whole self awareness thing. I think I just responded to a thing on Twitter where one of my friends, a psychologist, said that he attended a training, and of the three things they learned, one was the most important was self awareness. But I think that's the hardest. Why do you think that's the hardest?
Self awareness is really hard because from age 0 to 8, we had these beliefs installed in our hard drive. Our mind is like a computer, and they're just running, and we don't realize that they're there because they were installed when we were so young. So when you're just operating out of something that was installed by your family, your culture, your parents, you don't even know it's there. So you get to really look at each area, each seven pillar, and ask yourself, what do you want? What do you want to achieve? What action is needed to get what you want? And what limiting belief is in the way? And when you're really aware and you look at life through this paradigm of these seven key areas, then you can actually become aware of your limiting beliefs. The next thing is to accept that you have them, because a lot of people are in denial. Well, I don't have any limiting beliefs. Like, I'm perfect. My mind is working great. So the next one is acceptance. And then the next thing is action. How am
You
I
know, on acceptance, I run into that a lot. I call the limiting beliefs stuck points because they keep us stuck where we are. They keep us from moving forward. And I tell people that tell me they don't have any stuck points, that is limiting beliefs, I'll say, wow, that's my favorite stuck point. And they say, really, what is that? My favorite stuck point is I don't have any stuck points. My favorite limiting belief is I don't have any limiting beliefs.
Yeah, because that is a stuck point. That's just an unwillingness to look at yourself, because we can all improve. To the till my last breath, I will not have become an ascended master. There's always stuff that I want to grow into and
Oh,
become better,
wow.
work
That
on.
that that kind of gives me chills because I think of a story, Rebecca, and I wish I knew this guy's name. It was a real guy. He was a master violinist, I believe, and a reporter was going to interview him and found him practicing the violin. A master practicing the violin, and the reporter said, "What are you? You're practicing the violin?" And he said, "Yes, because I think I'm making progress." And I think that's what so many people leave behind, especially people in my field. There are people in my field that the last dedicated improvement they tried to make on themselves was way back in grad school or something. They think that they are the Twitter, social media is full of them. They think that they are that ascended master, and they just stop improving. But I think that's because we like to hold on to old patterns because we think they're safe, and we think that learning new patterns is dangerous. So I would guess you run into a lot of resistance.
I do. But to go back to your last point, after formal education ends, only 5% of people are willing to work on themselves. So the people
Wow.
that are willing to work on self improvement beyond their formal education are in the top echelon. So I want to congratulate everyone listening to your show and all your clients that are willing to work on themselves, and all my clients, because they are in the top 5%. Uh, the other question was, what did you say? Why people are what?
Yeah, why they're resistant?
Oh yeah, because people don't like change. It's like it's fear of the unknown. It's like wearing a comfortable pair of old jeans that are all torn up and stained. They don't fit that well. That they're not in style anymore, but those are your old jeans, so you are comfortable in those old jeans. And especially with relationships, I work with a lot of women who are in toxic relationships, and they have so much fear if they get out of the relationship, especially in midlife, that they're not going to be able to find anyone, that they aged out of the dating game. And that is just simply not true. But they stay in dysfunctional, painful relationships because they know it and it's comfortable, even though it's not healthy for them.
By the way, I had a pair of jeans like that. I back in the early '80s, I had spilled battery acid on a pair of my jeans, and so I guess I'm kind of like who was it that said they created the internet? I like to say I created holy jeans because I wore them for decades until my now wife, well, she disappeared them from the planet. And what I didn't understand that I think she understood is that they were holding me back, and I should get some new clothing. Let's see. Let's move on to some to our little triple shot episode here, and I'm going to ask Rebecca some quick questions, and she can share some top octane tips with you guys. What's your own top mental struggle currently? What's the biggest thing you're working on currently?
My mental struggle is to not make assumptions. Like when people don't return my call or text, I make up a story that they don't like me, that I did something wrong. And my tweak on that I just had this epiphany last week, is if I'm going to make up a story about why somebody doesn't return my call or text, why not make it a great one?
That's
Like, why
awesome.
why not make it like, oh, they love me so much, but they're just having such an amazing day that they just can't get back to me and they can't wait to talk to me. And oh, they just got lost in their text and they're so appreciative that I reached out. Like, why not make up a positive story about why somebody is not returning my call or text?
That's fantastic. You guys try that. I do that myself, but my brain's a little bit weird, so I do it a different way. I was in Walmart, and the lady checking me out at the register seemed like she wasn't really having a great day, and she was a little bit rude. And I decided she was constipated.
Oh, that's a positive
I mean,
story.
why would I take the state of someone else's intestines personally?
Absolutely. I'm gonna have to use that one. But it's the
Maybe
same
they're
like
just constipated. Here's
not
another one. You folks that get all upset when somebody displays their middle finger to you in traffic, uh, what they're telling you is that I'm an archer and I can still shoot you with an arrow because that's where that comes from. I won't get into the whole history of it, but that's a archery thing from way back when the longbow was developed, and the enemy would cut off the longbowman's middle fingers, and in an act of defiance, the longbowman would hold their middle fingers out. And my dad taught archery, and so when someone flits me off, it's just a warm, fuzzy memory of my dad, who is an archer. Why take it personal? What's your current best mindset hack? The top go-to that you use.
my best mindset hack is to wake up and before my negativity can catch hold of me to put an earbud in my ear and to listen to a positive YouTube video, and that way I'm starting my day on a positive foot and just to not let my mind get ahead of me. So everybody has positive and negative emotions. Sometimes I wake up with positive, sometimes I wake up with negative emotions, and I don't want to risk my negative emotions taking hold of me, so I just throw something in my ear that's positive. Every single morning I find a positive YouTube video to listen to.
There's a term from the 80s also called GIGO. It's an old computer term. Have you ever heard of that?
I have.
GIGO, GIGO. Back in the days when I was going to be a computer programmer, GIGO, that stands for garbage in, garbage out. And that's what Rebecca is saying, is to be careful what you put in your brain, because garbage in is garbage out. And finally, how to use the power of your mind to achieve your own superpower. I know we've talked about that, but any finer edges or more specificity you could put on that quickly?
I have a wonderful tool that I'm going to gift your audience. It's called an abundance journal, and it helps me reframe negative to positive. And these are journal prompts that I've been writing down every single morning for 3 decades. And it just really helps me reframe my day and constantly learn from my own experience and others' experience. And I finish it up with a gratitude list and a surrender list. A surrender list is taking all the fear and anxiety in my mind and surrendering it all on this list to my higher power, which I call God. You can call it anything you want, but just getting it out of your mind and onto the paper is so freeing. And then I just go out and have the best day.
That's awesome. Get it out of your head. It's kind
Yes.
of like that thing on Harry Potter where Dumbledore takes the thoughts and puts them in the sieve or whatever. And how can folks get that?
Yes, I'm going to give you, Dr. Heath, my link tree, and it is in my link tree as one of the things that you can click on. So I'll give you that journal in my link tree. It's called my Abundance Journal, and I can't wait to hear how your listeners improve their lives. I know it's really changed my life, and I could fill a room with how many journals I filled up using my Abundance Journal prompts. They're amazing.
And you guys can get in touch with Rebecca. The link is in the show notes, but it is RebeccaElizabethWhitman.com. I think that's all they type, right? RebeccaElizabethWhitman.com.
Yep. And if you're watching live and you don't want to wait for the published show to come out, if you go to my Instagram, the Abundance Journal, and all the ways to get in touch with me are in my link in bio.
And let's leave one of the final positive affirmation for the weekend.
Yes, my favorite one, because I'm a recovering perfectionist. I'm gonna leave you with my number one. It's I am enough. I have enough. I am willing to set myself free.
I am enough, I have enough, and I'm willing to set myself free. You guys go out there and use that. By the way, mine is, well, I mean, of many, perfection is the enemy of success. Perfection is the enemy of success. Rebecca, thank you for joining us. You guys, thank you for joining us. Rebecca and I are going to let you guys go, and we'll do a bit of a show debrief after this. We're live, and it is now living on the YouTube channel. Share it out with folks that could use some amazing mindset makeovers in their life, and we'll catch you guys next time on Executive Espresso.